To start off today's show, I'm going to read an email from Michael S. in San Diego. I think you should do a video about brine shrimp. I teach elementary science and the kids really liked the video about isopods. It was fun, educational, not too over the heads of the students. A video about brine shrimp done in the same style would be great. Thanks for the good work that you do. Well, thanks for writing to us, Michael. We loved your idea, so we got a friend to help us make a video about brine shrimp. Here it is. Hello, kids. It's me, Ollie, and this is my friend Laurelyn.
Hi, kids.
Today we're going to talk about these little creatures in the container. So, what are they?
These are called brine shrimp.
Oh, let's get a closer look. Oh, those look amazing.
They're pretty cool, aren't they?
So, tell me about them. You called them brine shrimp?
Yes, it's because they live in briny water, also known as saltwater, and they're cousins to things like shrimp and crabs and lobsters.
So, brine is the same as salty water? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Ah, interesting. And they're related to crabs and lobsters?
and shrimp and stuff, yeah.
Interesting. So, where do they come from?
Well, you can buy them as pets online or at stores and stuff, or you could catch them wild. We used to go catch them in this Great Salt Lake, and if you catch them wild, you can get them in different colors.
Oh,
I remember we used to catch some red ones.
Wow. So they can be red too? Interesting. Oh, I like that. Well, so what do they eat?
They eat like little bits of algae or bacteria that they find in the water.
Do they take bites, or do they just kind of catch it with all those legs?
Yeah, that's what they do. Those legs, they're constantly moving. They use them to breathe, swim, and eat.
So their legs never stop moving?
No.
Interesting. So they live in the salty water and they eat little particles they find in the water.
That's right.
So are there boy and girl brine shrimp?
Yes, there are. If you look closely, you can see the females have these tiny little egg clusters behind their legs, and the males have these claspers, which are kind of like a deer's antlers.
Very interesting. So why do people keep brine shrimp?
They can keep them as pets, or they feed them to their fish or other animals.
Interesting. So can I just walk into the pet store and buy brine shrimp?
Some pet stores have them, but some pet stores don't. You can also just buy them online.
And do they come all wet like that in the mail? Do you get a fish tank in the mail?
No, they send the eggs to you, and as long as the eggs don't get in salty water, they won't hatch. You can keep them in your fridge for years.
You can keep them dry in your fridge?
Yes, I think we have some in our fridge right now. See? Here are some brine shrimp eggs on this paper. They look like tiny specks of dust. When they're born, they're really hard to see, so we put these baby ones under a microscope. They're only a few hours old.
Who would have thought? Wow. And then you just put them in salty water and they hatch? That's pretty amazing. What do you feed them?
We feed them a mixture of flour and spirulina.
So, what's spirulina?
Spirulina is a kind of algae.
A kind of algae, and you just mix it up and put it in there with like what, an eyedropper or something?
Yeah, we just have a couple drops every other day or so. They don't need a lot.
Interesting. So are they pretty easy to keep? Oh, and they just grow like this? Are these all the way grown up?
Some of them are. Some of them are still tiny babies. You can see some smaller ones in there.
Interesting. So these would be a pretty easy pet to keep then?
They're pretty easy, yeah.
Do you need to change their water or anything like that?
No, you just add more water as it evaporates.
So when the water evaporates, do you add fresh water or salt water?
You add fresh water because the salt doesn't evaporate, it stays in the water.
I see. Well, brine shrimp are very interesting.
They sure are.
Thank you for sharing them with me.
Thank you for coming over.
Well, see you next time, kids.
Bye,
Thank you,
kids.
Laurelyn.
Well, time to go.
The brine shrimp stole my money.